So my mom has this Kenmore H2 high efficiency squared dryer that's not working, and when I press the start button, it comes with a code F1, which tells me that there's like a short on the motherboard. The first thing you need to do is in the back of the machine, one over here and one over there, there's two of these hex screws that you have to remove. So the size of the wrench is 1/4 to take off the hex. So once the screw is out, both screws are out, this whole thing slides out. See, it slides out, and then you can just pick it up and exposes the inside. By the way, before you do anything, make sure you unplug the dryer. And the first thing that I did was remove this little plug here. This just slides right off. Try to remember, take pictures of where the wires go, so when you're reinstalling it, you remember exactly where everything goes. If you look underneath here, there's tabs there. There's 1, 2, and then one on the other side. So it slides right out of here. So you just pull this whole thing down and the whole thing comes up. But before you do that, if you're looking back underneath there, it's kind of hard to see, but there's like a screw there. So there's a screw back here. So in order to reach that screw, you have to remove this one up here and then this one over there to take this whole part off to access that part. Using your 1/4 millimeter wrench, you loosen up the screw on both sides. Take this off and then take the other one. I can't put because I have a shelf here, I can't put my screwdriver wrench down here. Luckily I got a 1/4 inch wrench here that I can loosen up this part. Okay, once you remove the screw, this whole part here comes out. And that's the screw there, right here, that we have to remove before we can slide this whole part out. Okay, once I take this screw off, right here, you can slide this whole part out. But before we do that, we have to remove these plugins and where it's holding the wire, so we can take this motherboard out. Make sure you take a picture of all these parts here where they plug in, so it's easier for you to remember where they go in when you're done fixing the motherboard. The first thing you do is to take this one out, you just pinch this part right here and then pull it out. Just a closer look. You have to pinch this thing right here so it releases the clip where it's holding on. Same thing on this one here. You pinch on this thing here and then pull it out. See, you pinch this thing right here like this and it releases the clip. Okay, so I'm trying to pull this out, trying to slide it. It doesn't seem like it's gonna slide out of the slots here on the back. What I found out was behind it, you have this part right here. You have to press in. Once you press this in, the whole thing slides out easily. See, the whole thing just slid right out. So it's this little clip underneath there, right here, that you have to push in, because that's where it's kind of like latched on to this metal part. So this power area here, This one I just wiggled out, kind of like slides right out. The pin connectors here, then the red one, and then the black one. Again, remember where they go. Take a picture so you remember how to put it back together. This one here was a little tight. You have to push these two down at the same time so you can slide this out. As you can see, you have to push these two at the same time. 1, 2. And it's kind of tight, but be patient, it'll come out. The last part here, this blue connector, you just have to pull it straight out, but just do it gently. Again, it's kind of tight, but I eventually got it out. You know, just pulls right out. There's no clip or anything. Again, remember to take pictures so you know exactly where they all go. And now you have the motherboard. So to release the control board, there's these two clips that you have to kind of like pry up. You gotta pull it out and it comes right out. And it just slides right out like that. See, it latches onto this little area right here. So you have to pull this thing kind of like up so it can slide right out. Both sides at the same time. Okay, again, it's like this. It goes in there. Pry these two parts out a little bit gently at the same time, and then it comes right out. And then you have to angle it to kind of like pull it out, because this kind of like hooks right into these two slots right here. Okay, to slide the control board out, there's these little latches right here. It's on 4 sides. There's one right there. You have to push it in at the same time, and then this thing will slide right out. Okay, so there's actually 3 of them. So you gotta kind of like pry it out from the outside and then slide this top part off, and then do the bottom 3 and then slide the rest off. Now you see you slid the control board over the lip of the clip there on both sides. And now you can slide this board out. So you actually need at least 2 hands to do this. Once you get it over all the 6 clips, this kind of like you have to pull this end up right here, and then this whole thing, pull this out, and this thing here slides out. And then you got the whole motherboard. And then the problem is right here. See where it's burnt? And right here. And then from what I saw in other YouTube videos, this is where you have to resolder it to make the reconnection. And we'll see if it works. You look at the control board here, the whole soldering area is gone, totally gone. There's no connection left there. So hopefully putting some soldering element on it will make this thing work again. Otherwise we will have to buy a whole new control board. So I went to Harbor Freight and got this welding lead-free rosin core solder and this welding iron, so we can solder some of that solder onto this area right here. And so just to practice, once you plug this in, you can see how it melts the solder, and then you just kind of like let it drip down onto the area. So do a little practice if you've never done this before. It comes with this coil here. The solder is kind of like coiled up into a coil. You can just pull it out and stretch it out. There you go. After plugging everything back in, make sure you push it all the way in until you hear like an audible click. Make sure it's tight, Then you plug the power back on, and then you press the power button, and then press start, and then there you go.